Never heard about men getting pregnant. I've never heard about this argument. It must be some part of what you call the far left that is so minuscule that I, who am...
No, Jane,
What?
It's not minuscule, and I'm sorry, you can't throw this back on us. I assume it's because you are locked into media that just never wants anyone in their audience to know anything sketchy about the...
On the latest episode of Club Random, Bill Maher absolutely torched Jane Fonda's woke talking points, and it was pure entertainment. Fonda walked in thinking she was on another echo chamber podcast where her every word would be worshipped. Instead, she found herself face to face with Maher, the anti-woke sniper himself, locked, loaded, and ready to dismantle her narrative. Let's dive in. Was it about a garage door?
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that is...
No, you know this about California.
No, I don't.
Well,
I'm sorry, I don't.
You've never heard that California is overtaxed and overregulated? That we are a one-party state where there's sort of no checks on that sort of extreme leftism. And what do you think?
I don't for a minute consider California a state that is extreme leftist. Not at all, not any way.
Well, that shows where your politics.
Whoa, there's so much to unpack here. Jane Fonda lives so deep inside the Hollywood bubble that she's practically forgotten what the real world even looks like. She's been surrounded by flashing cameras, studio applause, and self-congratulating activists for so long that she's started mistaking the movie set for reality itself. In her world, slogans replace logic, and moral grandstanding passes for wisdom. But Maher? Oh, he's not having any of it. He's about to grab a sharp pin of truth and pop that overinflated Hollywood illusion, dragging Fonda right back to planet Earth, where real people live, work, and actually deal with consequences. Grab your popcorn. This one's going to sting.
They became the birthers, they became the Tea Party. There's about a third of this country that's very hard right. Of course they love Trump. When he left office, he had an approval rating of 34%. So he really only had those people.
Mm-hmm.
Why is he now like Todd? Because the other part of the coalition are people who they don't really like him that much. They just think the far left has gone so nutty on so many issues.
That's what they're being told.
That's what
by people like you.
Because it's true. You think the far left does nothing crazy?
Oh, I'm sure they do.
You can practically feel the tension crackling in the room as these two get ready to go head to head. It's that electric silence before the verbal punches start flying. But here's what's truly ironic. In one breath, Jane Fonda accuses Maher of claiming that the far left is going crazy, and in the very next breath, she admits they are going crazy. Classic. The double standard is practically a trademark move of the far left: deny, deflect, then accidentally prove your opponent right. It's like watching a live demonstration of political hypocrisy at its finest. Maher knows it, the audience knows it, and Fonda's about to find out the hard way. Anyway, let's keep going.
Left. What do you mean when you say far left?
I mean, I could give you a million examples.
Yeah, well, give me one.
Okay, the NAACP.
You think the NAACP is far
Could I
left?
finish my sentence?
Yes.
You asked me for an example.
Yeah.
Travel advisory, that's like the State Department does to go to. I'm sure when you went to Vietnam, they were advising you not to. There's a war on.
I didn't know.
I know, but you know what travel advisory.
Yeah.
Today we have them for very dangerous countries.
Yeah.
Don't go to North Korea. Don't go to Iran.
Yeah.
You know where they issued a travel advisory for black people not to go?
Yeah.
Florida. Every day there's stories like that just makes people roll their eyes and go, are you people nuts? Even if they don't matter that much, I don't think one person listened to this and thought, I can't go to Florida. But they just suggest something to the average person, which I completely understand, which is, wow, do you people ever find anything that's ridiculous?
So, woke isn't just a person or a mindset. It's a full-blown ideology, one that seeps into everything: culture, politics, entertainment, and even how people think they're allowed to speak. It's an ideology that proudly declares war on common sense, twists science into activism, and rewrites history to fit a feel-good narrative. Facts become optional, logic becomes offensive, and emotion becomes the new truth. That's the core of the problem. It's not about equality anymore, it's about control through moral intimidation. I only wish Maher had driven that point home harder. He hinted at it, sure, but stopped short of pulling the trigger. Maybe he's cautious not to alienate his liberal audience. Still, someone needs to say it plainly. Woke culture isn't progress. It's a slow erosion of reason.
And can get pregnant, that kind of stuff. And I understand that a trans woman can get pregnant. That's different than a man getting pregnant. Insist on blurring that line as if that's some sort of reasonable social cause, as opposed to just being for having full rights, respect, and protection for trans.
Nope, trans women can't get pregnant. That's just biological reality. But Maher is absolutely right when he says the trans movement should focus on securing rights and freedoms, not rewriting scientific facts. There's a clear difference between demanding respect and demanding that everyone abandon reason to validate an ideology. The movement loses credibility when it pushes ideas that clash with basic biology, like insisting men can give birth or that gender has zero ties to sex. That kind of extremism doesn't advance equality, it divides people who might otherwise be allies. The real path forward lies in protecting individual freedoms, ensuring dignity, and promoting open dialogue, not policing language or silencing disagreement. Arguing, shaming, and forcing beliefs on others only fuels backlash and shuts down the honest conversation society actually needs.
And getting pregnant. I've never heard about this argument. It must be some part of what you call the far left that is so minuscule that I, who am...
No, Jane,
what?
It's not minuscule, and I'm sorry, you can't throw this back on us. I assume it's because you are locked into media that just never wants anyone in their audience to know anything sketchy about
That right there was the hammer blow. Jane Fonda tried to pivot faster than a politician caught on a hot mic. 1 second, she's defending the far left, and the next, she's pretending she's never heard the argument that a man can get pregnant. Really, Jane? That line has been paraded on every woke talk show, college campus, and social media feed for years. You can't just pretend it doesn't exist. Then, realizing she'd boxed herself in, she tried to wiggle out of it by claiming that the woke left represents only a tiny fraction of the Democratic Party. But Maher wasn't buying it. With one sharp retort, he burst her bubble, reminding her that this isn't some fringe theory anymore. It's mainstream rhetoric within the modern left. That moment exposed everything, the denial, the spin, and the desperate attempt to rewrite reality on live camera.
I mean, I don't know. I read 2 papers, and maybe I don't. I should watch Fox News.
No, I don't. That's too far. But you don't have I'm not going to torture you.
Hoped that she now wished she had watched more Fox News. But that moment said it all. It wasn't just a throwaway line, it was an accidental confession that she'd been living in an echo chamber for years. Her Hollywood bubble had shielded her from the unfiltered debates happening in the real world, on mainstream media, social platforms, and around ordinary dinner tables. While she was busy swimming in a pool of applause from like-minded elites, reality was moving on without her. Maher simply pulled back the curtain, and for the first time, she got a glimpse of how detached that world had become. Sometimes truth doesn't need to shout. It just needs to pop the bubble.